we're going to see how to make the Gujarati Methi Theplas. For this, we'll need whole wheat flour, fenugreek leaves, yogurt, turmeric powder, asafoetida, salt, and some oil. Let's proceed to see how to make these delicious theplas. The first step is to rinse your fenugreek leaves or methi leaves really well, and then using a chopping board and a good knife, roughly chop the fenugreek leaves. It could be fine or roughly chopped. It does not matter how well you chop it, because it's going to get incorporated into the dough. In a large bowl with 2 cups of whole wheat flour, add the chopped fenugreek leaves, the asafoetida powder, turmeric powder, and the salt. Using your hands, combine all the ingredients until it is mixed well and well incorporated into the flour. To this mixture, now we will add our yogurt and mix well once again. Once the yogurt is well mixed into the flour, we will gradually add a little water at a time. We have to take care not to add too much water and make a well in the center and add too much water, but add a little water at a time. So this way the dough doesn't become too soggy and soft, and when it is too soggy and soft, it gets difficult to roll. So as you noticed, I just added a little bit and I'm mixing it. I will add a little more because I felt there is more water that is needed, more moisture that is needed to bring all the dough ingredients together. Squeeze to press the dough to see the amount of moisture that is there. You will notice that with the heat of your hands, and as you keep mixing the dough will get more moisture and bring all the ingredients together. Resist the temptation to add more water as you see some dry flour that is still around the bowl. This will all come together as you keep kneading. Remember, we also have to add a little bit of oil that would add more moisture to the dough. Do the press and knead motion. Press and knead motion. The more you knead, the softer and pliable the dough will become, and the softer your theplas will be. At this point, I'm going to add in the oil onto the top. The reason I like to add the oil on the top is I like to have a smooth dough from the top as well, and towards the end of the kneading process I add the oil, so the remaining flour or anything else that is around comes together, and I have a really smooth dough and a dough that is firm and yet smooth. It's not soggy, it is firm, but it is still smooth. Continue to do the press and kneading motion. Once this is done, allow the dough to rest for at least 10 minutes before you're ready to make the theplas. I have now divided the dough into 8 portions and refrigerated the rest of the dough for later use. Now we will begin making our theplas. Flatten the thepla portions in the palm of your hand. Dust it in some flour, and using a rolling pin, gently roll these dough portions into a circle. Gujaratis like to make their theplas really thin, but I would say roll it to your comfort level to start with. If it sticks to your rolling pin, then dust it in a little more flour and roll again. Make sure that before you start rolling, the pan is preheated. I have preheated the pan and it is well heated before I place the rolled thepla on top of it, because the theplas have to be cooked on high heat. Because they are very thin, they tend to cook really fast. And the amount of oil I use will be really less for the theplas. The reason is I have kneaded the dough with yogurt, so the theplas will just be soft, soft just like the Gujarati theplas, using less oil. Now the theplas can be cooked in oil or ghee, but I'm going to be drizzling a little bit of oil on top of the thepla. Using ghee does give a different texture and taste to the thepla. It also when you cook it with ghee, it travels well. It stays for a longer time, stays softer for a longer time. As you would apply drizzle the oil only when you start seeing a little air pockets. Now, as soon as you start seeing a little brown spots on top of the thepla, you would flip it over and cook on the other side for a few seconds as well. So as one of the theplas is cooking, I made another thepla. Now you notice that there are brown spots on the thepla. I'm just giving it a little bit of pressure so the other side gets cooked as well. Make sure that the theplas are cooking on high heat, because since they're thin, they cook really quickly. Notice that your theplas are done now and ready to be served. Serve it with aloo shaak or any of your favorite vegetables.